Hi, welcome. I'm thinking about evangelism in a time of lockdown. We've already produced talking about the E word, 7 steps, and I just wanted to add to that. You know, people often have quite a negative view about evangelism, as if we're trying to do things to people, make them Christians, get them to join the church. Evangelism is never that. It's far more gentle and creative and loving and Jesus-like. Evangelism is sharing good news. It's opening a door. It's reminding, or for the first time saying to people, there is a real God and he cares about you and he knows your name and he loves you. You know, lockdown appears to be a bad time to do evangelism, but actually what have we been doing? We've been doing 2 massive things. We have been helping loads of people in the community, visiting them, distributing medicines and food. And second, we've been running thousands of online services and prayers and Bible studies. And it's not just Christians and church members that have been keying into them. Loads of people have been keying in. So if you put the volunteering and the live services together, who knows how many people there are out there that might be open and interested in the good news. You know, there's 2 occasions in the Gospels where Jesus says to his disciples, look out at the fields. Can you not see that they're ready to be harvested? Perhaps there are people ready and wanting in our little world, in our section of friendships and relationships, just ready to be harvested. Anyway, talking about harvesting, so here are my 7 little steps for sharing the good news. And I love a visual aid, and as we're all going rainbow crazy at the moment, I've got my rainbow visual aid. This is not so much about the health service, wonderful though that is. It is about the rainbow of evangelism. 7 steps. Here we go. Let's see if I can remember them all. The first step is simply, if you're doing lots of volunteering and visiting and people coming, why don't you just make a list of all your contacts so that you don't forget anybody? Step number 2. You might have a big list with loads of people on it. You might have a small list with maybe a dozen people on it. It's still wonderful and rich. Start praying for the people on your list. There we go. That's the second part of my rainbow. Step number 3. Lots of churches are doing friendship or social events. They're doing pub quizzes by Zoom or morning coffee mornings by Zoom. Why don't you just invite some of the people on your list to these come and meet and relax with us type of events? Where's that going? Here we go. That's got to go on there. We're halfway there. As well as doing social events, and if you're sending out services and things online, why don't you occasionally set aside a specific service and make it all about telling people about Jesus, telling them how close he is, and then at the end, inviting them, saying, if you would like to know more about this Jesus, to get closer to him, then why don't you get in touch, drop us an email, let us know, whatever. I'm running out of space for my rainbow, folks. I'm not quite sure where to go next. Anyway, step 5 is who's doing all this inviting? Often it's the vicar or the pastor or 1 or 2 people. Why don't you try to get a lot of your people inviting people to your events so that you create a culture of invitation? It becomes normal for us to invite friends, family, people that used to come to church that we've lost contact with to our banquet. There we go. Step 5. Running out of space. And I'll just stick him up there. Hope that he hangs on. Step 6. Lots of people are actually finding that this is a really good time for inviting people onto some sort of Christian Enquirer's course. Some of these courses are getting more numbers than they did during what you might call normal church time. Some people are running one-to-one start groups. Some people are running groups for Alpha or for start courses. Why don't you think about running a sort of a Zoom virtual Enquirers group? So that is my rainbow number 6. And last but not least, maybe loads of this stuff is just beyond you. But you've still got your little list. I have a little list. I've got 6 people on my list. They're friends, and I'm just trying to keep in touch with them and to have real deep conversations. And to say to them, what about you and God? Would you like to come along to one of our services? Would you like to join in Would you like to find out more about this amazing Jesus? Well, there we go. That's the last bit. That's a bit of a bobbling around rainbow, I know. Best I can do, because I love a visual aid. There was one occasion with Jesus when he just saw loads of people gathering. And he said to his disciples, you know, they're like sheep without a shepherd. He had compassion on these people. It wasn't so much that he wanted to do some evangelism to them. I think it was more that he wanted to share his love, his peace, his joy, his good news with them. So why don't we all follow him and share his mission to his world in a time of lockdown?